The Chicago Cubs dropped two series for the first time back-to-back this season. We're going to talk about it and then some after this. Oh, man. And guys, it is upon us. That's right. The Chicago Cubs finally finish off what is considered the hardest stretch of baseball schedule-wise this season. Um, with that being said, there are both sides of the spectrum that I want to talk to today. I want to talk to the optimistic fans that say, oh, well, the Chicago Cubs are getting ready to have a very easy schedule, seeing the White Sox, the Reds twice, the Marlins twice. Oh, yeah, the rest of May is a cakewalk. Chicago Cubs might actually roll off 18 or so games. That absolutely could be true. There are other side that is the rain is falling. Oh my God, the roof is caving in. The Chicago Cubs need a closer, need a pitcher, need something. Da 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 da. We're going to talk to both sides today. But first and foremost, my name is Mike Jones. I am the host here on Chicago Cubs Central. If this is your first time tuning in, please go ahead. If you like what you see, give us a follow, a subscribe, and a like on this video. Once again, the C3 fam is still steady growing. We are getting our numbers back, getting our viewership back, and we appreciate each and every last one of you that are tuning in. Also, leave a comment below. I love to get into the chat and talk with you guys in the comment section about your thoughts about Chicago Cubs. Remember, guys, this is the #1 spot for all things Chicago Cubs. So please, this is the official voice of the Chicago Cubs fan. Can't be the official voice of the Chicago Cubs fan if the fans don't comment below. So go ahead, let your thoughts be known. What do you think about the Chicago Cubs dropping two games, dropping this series to the Mets Friday night, which is a very winnable game, Sunday, which is a very winnable game. Again, like I said, and it all came down to what? Da 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 da. That's right, the bullpen. Go figure. And this time, so we need to outline a couple of things. So Friday night, after Friday night's game, I was pretty fired up. So I recorded an episode. It'll probably follow this one. Like I said, I recorded the episode. If you didn't watch it Saturday, go back and watch that episode Saturday, where I talked about the fact that the bullpen just is a major reason why the Chicago Cubs are not looked at as serious contenders, why they are looked at, and why right now the St. Louis Cardinals are on their heels. I mean, the Cardinals are only a game and a half, I think, or 2 games back of the Chicago Cubs in the Central Division. Now, again, it's still early, still very early, and the Cardinals are going to have a rough go of it because they are going to run into a rough patch of their schedule, while probably the Chicago Cubs are on an easier, lighter part of their schedule. However, with all of that being said, you still have to look at the simple fact that the Chicago Cubs did roll into New York and did drop 2 games, and it was because of their bullpen. So you got to look at you got to look at Friday's game first. Ryan Presley came in the 11th. Oh snap! That was against the Ryan Presley surrendered 9 runs in the 11th inning Tuesday night against the Giants for a 14-5 loss. And then after that, Chicago Cubs fans were calling for his job, calling him to lose the closer spot. They really wanted him to be DFA'd after that game. Then it was, well, in Porter Hodge we trust, right? Well, guys, Sunday, Porter Hodge had the opportunity to keep it at a 2-run game, 2-2 tie game, and he proceeded to give up 4 runs in the 8th inning. So, what do the Chicago Cubs do now? The pessimistic side says that the sky is falling. The Chicago Cubs need to make trades right now. You need to capitalize on this next stretch of games and try to win as many of those games as you can, while also trying to get some type of bullpen. But guys, I'm going to tell you right now, it's very unlikely that the Chicago Cubs make a trade in the month of May and the month of June. You are literally looking at May and June of seeing what this roster is. In July, that's a different story. Outside of some type of crazy event happening where the Chicago Cubs lose a bunch of games, or the Chicago Cubs end up, losing guys to injury, more guys to injury, it's gonna end up being a situation where this is your team until July. Trade deadline is a different story. Trade deadline, rumors will start heating up. Channel will probably start heating up even more. More people will start watching because everybody wants to know the inside scoop on who's going where and who's happening what. So again, it's important for us to note that these things are coming. The Chicago Cubs will end up figuring it out as far as getting somebody to replace Justin Steele for the season. I full on believe that's going to happen. Matthew Boyd and Colin Ray have both done serviceable jobs for the Chicago Cubs. They have done better than expected, both of these guys this season. They both have, for the most part, been able to keep the scoring down. They for the most part have been able to be reliable pitchers to go deep into games. Hell, I mean they went deeper than Tyone and Ben Brown, which is crazy. So you look at what the Chicago Cubs have right now, and I want to tell the pessimist side, listen, pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. It's tough right now. Yes, it's tough watching your team lose these games, and it was tough for me. The realization Friday night, guys. The pessimist side of Mike Jones came out Friday night, Saturday morning when that episode came out. It was literally just the thought process of we're still some steps away from being World Series contenders. We are a good team. We're good enough to win the Central Division because that's the only way you're going to be able to make the playoffs. We're good enough to win the Central Division. We're not good enough to win the World Series, and I don't think we're good enough to win the NL. So, again, this is just early observations. Good is good in the Central Division, but it's not good enough. And the glaring spots are third base and a bullpen, and really another starting pitcher. Now, the real question is, how does Jed get creative with filling out these spots? Because these are all necessary spots. If the rumors are true, the Chicago Cubs are all in on trying to go see as far as this team can go this season, then you got some work to do. We'll probably drop an episode later this week because the Rafael Devers with Boston issue is just growing and growing and growing, and it's more and more and more drama over there. And the louder the drama gets with Boston, the more the rumors are going to heat up that Rafael Devers will probably end up a Chicago Cub. So we'll address it when it comes time. Probably one of the Cubs don't have a game Thursday. I will be at the Saturday game in the bleachers for Cubs White Sox. I'm gonna record an episode from the bleachers, so that'll be cool. I'm excited for that. You guys make sure you tune into that. Check that out also. But yeah, man, like I said, the Cubs have the Marlins and the White Sox this week. And again, these are both of these series should be winnable series. Obviously, the Chicago White Sox are 12-29 on the season. The Marlins are 15-24 on the season. So these next games are very winnable games, and hopefully it should help the Chicago Cubs put some distance between them and the other and the Cardinals and other teams like that. But we just have to see how things go. But I want to talk to the optimistic side too. And the reason I want to talk to the optimistic side is because you look at the Chicago Cubs schedule, and this is solely what they're basing their optimism off of, is the schedule. So, okay, you just faced the Pirates, Brewers, San Francisco, and the Mets. Before that, you dealt with the Dodgers, you dealt with the Padres, you dealt with, all these other teams, the Rangers. So now you're looking at Miami, White Sox, Miami, Cincinnati, and Colorado, and then Cincinnati again. I'm going to tell you now, the Cincinnati series are trap series. The Cincinnati Reds are a very well-managed team. The Cincinnati Reds have not lived up to what they were supposed to be, but they also are 20-22 right now on the season. They could, by the time they see the Cubs, or on Friday, May 23rd, have a winning record. Those both are two trap series. And the White Sox also, without the Chicago Cubs having a legit bullpen, the White Sox are a hitting threat. Now, obviously, their pitchers are going to give up scoring also. But they do have hitting scoring threats on there, especially with Luis Robert Jr. playing as good as he is. And you get, like I said, you get the White Sox next weekend. And I've always hated the Chicago Cubs going to Miami to play the Marlins. I've always hated it. I've always thought that those games were trap games also. And you have a 3-game set against the Marlins. So I want the optimistic fans to be careful. These games could very well be trap games. And I don't want the Chicago Cubs, or I don't want the fan base to come into those games just thinking like, oh, yeah, these are cakewalks. Cakewalks. We should walk right through these guys. Hopefully get shoulder back sometime maybe around the White Sox or the second Marlins series. Cakewalks. We're going to do our thing. Ian Happ will be in the lineup probably tomorrow against the Marlins. Tonight against the Marlins. Cakewalks. Do not underestimate the power of the Marlins, the great pitching that they do have at times. Do not overestimate the fact that the rivalry between the White Sox and the Cubs runs deep, and you will always get your A game from the White Sox. Do not underestimate the fact of how greatly managed the Cincinnati Reds are. This is not going to be a cakewalk. The Chicago Cubs should win more games than they lose during these next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. These next 18 games, Chicago Cubs should win more than they lose. But again, let's just hold our horses on rolling off an 18-game win streak here, because I don't think that that's going to happen. They may win 13 of the. In my eyes, a successful next 18 games looks like winning 13 of these games, dropping 5. That's very winnable, very doable. That's like I said, that's putting in a couple sweeps and then dropping a couple games, but winning each series. I think the Chicago Cubs are very capable of doing that. But I do want to know from you guys what you think from below after hearing these are the Chicago Cubs next series coming up. You got, again, I'll list them off for you. You got Marlins, then you got White Sox, then you got Marlins, then you got Reds, then you got Rockies, then you got the Reds to end the month of May. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to talk to the optimistic fans. I also want to talk to the pessimistic fans. Listen, the sky is not falling, but it also will not be a cakewalk these next 18 games. Hopefully, the Chicago Cubs offense can figure things out, because it's starting to get a little shaky, especially looking at somebody like Kyle Tucker. Starting to get a little shaky. And again, I mean, I guess in a sense, it's great that he isn't just knocking the cover off the ball and getting 2 and 3 and 4 RBIs per game, because then you really would have to pay him $500 million. But Chicago Cubs kind of need him to pick it up, especially these next games, so that they can win these games. Kind of going to be kind of dependent on Kyle Tucker a little bit here. More than a little bit. We need his offense to pick it up. We need PCA to get back where he was, Michael Busch to get back where he was, Dansby to keep up doing what he's doing, and for Ian Happ not to be injured long. We'll just have to see what happens. But I want you guys to comment below. Tell me your thoughts on those next 18-game series. And I really feel like this next 18 games will decide a lot for the Chicago Cubs. We'll just have to see what happens. But again, that's my time for today. Make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe to the network. I appreciate all of you. Make sure you guys have a great week this week. I'll be back with another show tomorrow morning for you. Appreciate each and every last one of you. Until next time, go Cubs, go. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.